bad. We gotta change up that tarps off photo in the intro.
If anybody wants to know how important Dakota Josh was to the Vancouver Canucks, that was the game. Okay, so condiments. This is everything.
Everything. So we run the gamut completely, right?
I'm talking about sriracha on the bottle.
Sriracha?
Sriracha. It's that silent R that screws me up.
Is it a silent R?
I don't know. Like, who's tall?
Who's tall?
Chris Pronger, wasn't he tall?
Chris Pronger was tall. Yeah.
Welcome to the PP1 Podcast.
Are you kidding me? That's what?
Yo, peeps. I caught you at a time. Did I catch you off guard there?
When I was guzzling a mouthful of water?
Yeah, sorry.
Sifting it through my weak ass mustache by comparison.
You know what? It's a filter.
Yeah,
you can filter. And you know who loves mustache kisses when you drink water? Your wife. You know how I know this? Because mine hates it. So yours probably hates
Starting at 9:30 is criminal. He's right.
You know what, Grant? We will do whatever we want, whenever we want. He is right, though.
He's right.
Probably, yeah. That's fair. Welcome to the PP1 Podcast. I love being here.
We just like send him a link and he can just come on. Can we?
No, he's got to earn that.
I think we should just send him a link and he should just come on tonight.
Fine, jeez. Okay, just wait, Grant. You can come on the show.
Yeah, it'd be good if you just come on. Yeah.
We're on the Area 51 Sports Network. We're proud to be here. It's the eve of trade deadline, and there's been deadlines. Brock Nelson just went to Colorado, and I was saying via text to Ted, he looks really old. Like, like he looks...
Well, brother, I felt like 45.
He looks old, man. Just not good. Grant, I'm going to send it to your Twitter, okay? Hopefully that works. G, how do you spell your name? There we go. I'm going to send it to your Twitter. Yeah, like he looks old. I was trying to remember. He looks like a character in, there's a TV show. I can't quite put my finger on it. But
he looks like some sort of Bond villain.
Yeah, maybe. That like a weak one, though. Like first boss. Like if you were, or if it was like a video games, like he's the first boss, like you're gonna beat him. Or if it's like Punch Out, it's like it's the first.
Like Glass Joe.
He's like Glass. Exactly, he's Glass Joe. Actually, that's kind of frightening. How
I you know what? I've been dead to the world all day. I don't even know what happened with Brock Nelson. Where did he go? What did they get for him?
So I was gonna bring that up too. Some of these trades are getting a little ridiculous. I don't even know some of the names, like Callum Ritchie. Do you know who that is? Callum Ritchie. Do you know who Future Considerations is? Have you heard of him?
Man, that guy is involved in a lot of trades.
That dude might be the most traded player in the history of the NHL. My apparently things are catching up on my screen for some reason. You can see me, or you just hear me?
No, I can. You're all good. I can see and hear you just fine.
It's weird. I'm just seeing like a background or something. So
I fixed my Wi-Fi solution here.
Oh, really?
So hopefully I won't be falling out or
Is it the neighbor's Wi-Fi?
You get delayed? No, I had to buy a new router.
Oh, well,
that it could, because like the Rogers one sucks and they give you these boosters that don't do anything.
Fair enough.
I had to buy a new router and then I had to buy like an extender, and like now it seems to be working really well. So
that's what I've got on mine here, my basement one, and it's huge. Grant probably doesn't want to come on.
No, he told me he's on his way. Yeah.
So I don't have like a 3. Now I got to make a whole other. Okay, please keep talking. I got to make a new background so that this doesn't look stupid.
Oh my god! You know what? I make fun of you. I'm sure it's actually a huge pain in the ass having to run this show. So I do appreciate you.
It's it's fine. It'll take me like 5 seconds to do this. But yeah, so getting back to Brock Nelson, he's old. Colorado.
He's not old. He just appears to be old.
I feel like that's the same thing.
He's like a reverse Benjamin's Buttons guy.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know how I feel about that. I'm surprised that was the Brock that got traded so far. But I mean, maybe unlock the Brock.
So let's revisit that a little bit then. I still don't know who Brock Nelson went for.
Callum Ritchie and a first and a third, or conditional first or next year, 26 or 27. So
okay, and they're saying there's not a market for our Brock.
So I think what was happening was there is a market for him. It's just I think everybody's waiting for the Mikko Rantanen thing to happen when that inevitably happens. So I don't know. Like it's not how this works. Like there needs to be a domino, right? And
sure. But maybe there's somebody that can jump the domino and be like, I can spend my time fighting over Mikko Rantanen, or I can just go make a trade for Brock Besser.
I mean, I think Brock Besser would be a steal for a few people. But the Canucks apparently believe that he should be their own rental, which is I just hate that. Do you not hate that? Like, doesn't that bug you? Like, oh, he's our own rental. Like, that's stupid. Let's be honest with ourselves here. That's stupid.
It's like teams that say, they didn't make a trade at the deadline, but it's like they made a trade because so and so's back from injury.
That's totally different, and that makes sense. This isn't it though.
It's the same. It's the same mentality though. It's like it's vanilla. Like it's boring.
It is boring. Yeah, I don't know. I feel that the Canucks
make like our own rental. I mean, that's just what is that? Redeem Verbata. We've now dropped his standing in Canucks lore as Redeem Verbata type. Have our own rental. It's do something.
Like it's lazy. It's lazy. It's copy and pasting. It's like what everyone does on Facebook. Oh, and copy and paste, and
it's half pregnant.
Blah, blah, blah. That's a choice, I suppose. That's a choice. So Carson Soucy got traded. Do we care about this? I mean, we have to care a little bit about this, I think.
It's huge, actually, yeah.
Somebody posted...
That frees up a ton of money.
It does. Someone posted about... And we got a third for him, which means that'll be gone tomorrow.
I mean, if you're based on recent history, yeah.
And it's just
it's a really high 3, though, right? Is that not like a San Jose 3?
It's like 11, yeah. It's like an 11-year-old with like $20. And then we're sitting at the mall today.
I think what's lost in all of this is like I was really happy with Carson Soucy. I really enjoyed him last year. I thought he was like, that's a great pickup.
Mm-hmm.
What an awesome free agent signing. And then here we are like a year later, and
no Zadorov, no Cole, no Soucy.
He's on his way out, right? I mean, there is a lot of wacky changes that have happened on this squad the last little bit. A lot of guys that were just here and just traded, like the Danton Heinen thing, right? Like
there was another guy that just got traded back to Yanni Gord, went back to Tampa.
Yeah, that's nuts, eh? So are they retaining salary there? Is that what's happening?
There was a few pieces going back and forth. I can't remember how that one went, but like some of these are just crazy times going on. So,
but yet through all of this, there's just not a market for Brock Besser.
Well, and what did he say? We ran out of time. This is going to be that, isn't it? We ran out of time. I don't
know. Like
they're just holding.
Aren't we past all of that? We're going to trade him, right? Like, let's revisit this. We talked about this about a month ago.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit more. And I said, the one thing I feel like I'm sure on is that Brock Besser is going to be traded.
And
and you defended it. So I mean, I don't know how you still feel about that. Like,
well, I mean, honestly, it bugs me because I don't want him to go. At the same time, I do not care who's on this team. Like for me, and I've said this a million times, it is the logo on the front. No? Well, Quinn Hughes we need, but we also needed Roberto Luongo, and we also needed the Sedins, and we needed Bure, and we needed Bertuzzi and Nazem. Like Quinn Hughes is definitely the best of all of those. But I mean, a Stanley Cup is a Stanley Cup, man. If it ever gets to that point, I don't care who's on this team. I will be likely going ballistic for whichever players are on this team. Like we joked about it, right? Like Victor Reskovich or Aaron Volpatti, or I mean, where you look at Maxim Lapierre, the guy's a legend. Chris Higgins, the abs himself. Like these guys end up being in the organization. Manny Malhotra, long after, because they did so much, and they also saw the value at the time and what they're going to be down the road. Like that Mike Gillis. I mean, geez, is Mike Gillis coming back?
Man, I'm still a huge Gillis fan. I'm sure the guy made some mistakes, right? I mean, I think he got burnt on a few trades. The guy made some he assembled such a ridiculous roster.
It was the best.
And I think that like this regime has the ability to do that. I just don't know if we're there quite yet, you know? And I think like
not. It's okay.
Think like and I think like making the trade to release the asset on Brock Besser, I think like that needs to happen. It sucks, right? I mean,
it's going to happen to Minnesota. He's going to Minnesota, right?
Yeah, and it's Brock Besser. Like this guy has been such an integral part of this core for so long, and really all of that stuff is like it's just barely starting to whittle away now. Like we're starting to see the destruction of that, like that core that they tried to assemble back in like the Benning regime, right? And though Benning is gone, it's still his prints are still all over this roster, right? And at some point, you know,
Ted, are you going to eat that?
Yeah,
it's on that handprints. Ted, you need this still?
Yeah, like at some point, it's got to become the new regime's squad, right? It is, and they're making that. It's almost like a merging of two squads. You know what I mean? And I think that Besser is like the first person of that to go, which really like sort of signals that there's going to be some major changes. I
mean, they traded JT Miller after he signed that contract, which was a big deal to start. And I'm still on the they can't trade Petey. And did you see the game last night? I know you didn't see the whole thing. Did you watch? Like, did you see highlights?
I didn't get to see the whole thing. No.
Did you see the highlights of it?
Yeah.
So, and I mean, this is such a Canucks thing, but the guy won 20 of 25 faceoffs. He looked like a monster on the ice last night. He didn't score, but I felt like his puck movement skills, his decision making was really good. And it's always nice if you can score after you have that big press or the presser that he had, right? Just kind of admitting some stuff, which I feel like he's already done this season, but it doesn't matter. It was good to see him kind of the weight off his shoulders a little bit. I still think it's there. If they trade him and it's worth it, I mean, it is what it is. I don't think they're going to. You got to read that book, man. I'm telling you, Canucks at the Draft, like it'll.
What book is that?
Again? It's Daniel Wagner wrote it, so it's like all the Canucks draft picks and like. Anyway, it's.
Do you have it?
I do. I'll lend it to you.
Okay, yeah, I'll actually read this one.
Yeah, that'd be great. You need to read the other one, man. It's so good. Fantasy Life, it's the best.
Will it still hold up if I read it now?
100%, it will. Yeah, I almost want to read it again. Like there's some trades in there that are just hilarious.
Okay.
Never be in a fantasy league.
It's right there.
Yeah, never be in a fantasy league. Yeah. Just pump it.
Anybody who doesn't know this book, I'm about halfway through it, but it's Matthew Barry. It's Fantasy Life, and it's basically
a knockout.
Him and his fantasy league, and it's. I mean, if you've watched the league, you envision some of that stuff going on, but
it's like it's kind of like an autobiography as well, like how he rised up the ranks, and then there's just like people like wrote in trades and stuff that they had in various leagues and like funny stuff and just and then there's statistics like top 50 fantasy players ever at that point, and just it's so good. It's such a good read. It's fun if you like fantasy sports. But yeah, this Canucks one's good too. This
one's fun. I don't know if you saw this one.
Draft Year, Brendan
Draft
Gaunce.
Year.
I know you said that was a good book.
Yeah, it was actually really good. I never had mean, it basically gives you the prospect's view of start to finish of what it's like being a high-end prospect. And he was at that time, Brendan Gaunce, to sort of rise, like to come up through the ranks and then go through the process. It's like an inside detailed look of like how it looks from their point of view. It's pretty cool.
Interesting. Is there a Cody Hodgson book, I wonder?
That would be a good book, eh?
That would be a really good book.
Yeah.
That'd be a really good book. So back to Petey. They can't trade him. And if they do, it has to be at the very least equal value for what we all believe he still is.
But it won't be.
It won't be, but that's my point. It has to be. They can't move on until they've determined that this, for them, it's the end. Because there is talent there, and he's going to go to a team, and it's going to work out really, really well. I truly believe it. Like, he's having as good of a season as he had in his first 2 seasons, so rookie year and sophomore, as good of seasons as he had, he's having equally that bad of a season this year. Like, there are no comparables to either of them.
It's like every so time left and right.
Every time you saw a statistic for his first 2 seasons, they're like, well, we don't have a comparable for that ever. And at the same time, it's like this massive decline, this massive free fall. And they're like, we don't have statistics for this. That should be crazy. Like, it's so far apart of what those 2 things are. Like, if you think like, geez, this guy is like the sun, the moon, and the stars, or he's like cratering and nothing in between. That's scary. I mean, scary, cool, but that's scary.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I was having the same conversation earlier today. Like how far he is from one end to the other. That just doesn't happen by accident, right? Like you don't just become a bad hockey player overnight after doing some of the like elite things that he was doing through the first full amount of his career to this point. Like, yeah, there's been some dips and stuff like that, but it's always like, okay, I see it, you know, and where did that go? There has to be, it's obviously like, you know,
I think he could find himself again.
It's whatever it is in between his ears right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
because the talent's there.
That's tough.
So speaking of trade deadline,
he looked good last game. Good.
He looked phenomenal. Yeah. I just sent you a text. So continue.
I think like a reasonable part of like the change we've seen in the last little bit here. It's like that apology to the media. I think like it seems like I don't know. I don't know if that was prompted or if it was something he thought up on his own, or like just like coming clean a little bit. And it's almost like the media, just by virtue of him doing that, is sort of like let him off the hook this next little bit. And it looks like in him now that some of that weight has just been lifted a little bit. Like they've almost like, okay, we redeem you.
He admitted, not mistake, but fault. It's the same thing as when they admitted they screwed up on this trade earlier. Who did they just move? Who am I thinking of? That they moved Desharnais. There's another one, something bigger. Was Desharnais the only one I can think of? No, there's another one that they just signed and traded away. I mean, Miller's.
Are you talking about Heinen?
No. We just talked about this. Anyway, this organization has admitted mistake and they've moved on. Mm-hmm. They've said, hey, we screwed up. We're going to recover what we could. Maybe it was the Miller stuff that they moved around, all that stuff.
Well, and they've done it with Kuzmenko. Like
okay. So that's, And now you've got Petey who's admitting fault. We've said this for years. That's all we wanted. I can get behind that now because I know where he's at. I know that he has come out and said, listen, this is me, but this is not me. This is not the Elias Pettersson that you guys know, and I'm going to get better. I'm going to get back to that. Now, he didn't score, but man, 20 faceoffs. He looked like a monster last night. And the only other guy to do it this year, I think they said, is Sidney Crosby. Decent little dude. What's up, buddy?
Hey, oh, man. Looks like I maybe got it to work here. So
there you go. So anyway, before Grant, welcome to the show. Now you don't have to comment. This is probably easy for you. Ted, I sent you a text. So I just about got burnt today. Love the jersey, by the way. I just about got burnt today on a fake account. I was over the moon when I saw this. Did you get it?
Oh, wow.
So that didn't happen.
Oh, it's just this is fake. So it says here 2 Blackhawks, Andrew Costal, 5th round draft picks, 2 Caps, Ryan Donato, and a 3rd.
Yeah. So I was losing it. I just about texted you today, knowing you weren't going to get till after work. And I thought, I'm like, they did the one thing that needed to happen in the world and get Crystal with Bedard. And then I looked and I just about texted it to the group. And I looked and it was a fake tweet. And I was bummed out. Because
imagine if you get that guy in 2025 who sent the fake tweet to his friends.
I was so close. I was so like I looked and then I wait a sec guy and I didn't send it. So it was good. Grant, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, boys. How are you guys?
You know, just talking some Canucks hockey, talking Elias Pettersson. Did you catch all that while you're waiting to get in
Well,
here?
actually, I was frantically trying to get my setup set up properly here. So no, I missed like everything you talked about.
Man, you got all that chicken money. You think you'd have a better setup?
Yeah, seriously. I'm lacking here, but don't worry. Someday when you guys have me on more often, I'll improve.
We need like a Patreon so we can get Grant a better setup.
There it is.
I like it. So, Grant, we're talking trade deadline. You saw the Brock Nelson thing, obviously, tonight.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, that's a big move. There's a lot going on this deadline so far. Like, and big like big money, big numbers, big draft picks are all flying around. It's pretty cool.
So why has Brock Besser not moved yet?
Oh man, because Colini does not want it to happen, and somehow, and he just wants to scrape into the playoffs, and then I don't know. It's kind of beyond me. Like, I could see them re-signing him 6 years. Like give him that extra year, and I don't know, but if they can't get him done, they have to move him. Like it's as simple as that. They got to get value for him. I could see, Rutherford and Alvin just gotta. I think they have the plan. I think it's Aquilini blocking it. I really do.
Well, that would make the most sense. And for 4 games or 2 home games or whatever it is, what's the point? We like after last year and seeing what this year looks like, I think everybody's like, listen, you guys made some stuff. Injuries clearly screwed us. We had to make some moves to get ahead of this. Let's shoot for the stars for next year, which I think is entirely possible. And that's okay. And we'd all be fine with that. We'd be like, you know what? Play out the season. I don't want to see our team get absolutely beat. That hurts. It's like after last year to come back and see this team lose, that hurts, man.
Yeah,
especially with like a banged up news.
I mean, yeah, okay. I know that obviously, Brock's a goal scorer and he's obviously a pretty important piece. Even though he's like not having the year he wants to have, he's still this team's second in scoring goals, right? I mean, he's still a dangerous player. I think he sort of gives that like that edge that they want him to have, and I can understand that. But at the same time, if he leaves and he's traded, I mean, I think that this team still has to try to push for a playoff spot. I don't think it's like a rollover. I think it's possible that we could have like Lekaramaki come in and sort of fill that void and like still try to get there. If it's going to be a couple home games, let's go get a couple home games. I think we can move Brock and still do those things.
Get there organically. Exactly. Don't get there by buying.
And we have all this cap space too, right? Like whoever they bring in, they're going to bring in a few guys. Like if they trade Brock, if they, help another team taking on a bad contract, like they're still bringing in guys with value that are going to help the team still make that push. It might not be the same type of player, but they're not far off from still squeaking in by the skin of their teeth. There's only 20 games left. Like they can do it.
Well, they traded Susie today, and that basically says that PD two PDs. It basically says that their back end is doing okay. It means that they can get
better
by
with Pedersen, right? Like it's
Well, both of them though. Like
and I liked Carson Soucy. That was a good player for me. I thought that he was a little bit bogged down this season, but I think had this team been better, he would have been better. That's the kind of player that he is, right?
Well, he could have been your 6, and
exactly.
And as a healthy 6, and not as like a 6/4. So, and that's where the problems go. So, getting there organically is fine. I mean, and you look at your rocking your Abbey jersey. That's the whole point of having a good farm team or prospects. Like, there's Willander is, could be soon here. Let's go that way. I mean, we can cheer for that.
You're already signaling it anyways, right? Like, unless you're
magically, he doesn't want the optics, right? He wants it to look like it's still all in, and like, I don't know. I don't ever see them admitting to the fact that like it's a minor rebuild, even though just playing the kids is what exactly should be happening.
It's a good thing, and I think the fan base knows that, and I think him being worried about perception and it looking bad to the fans, like if you let those things happen and you go ahead and you trade Brock and you start to signal the change on this thing, and the young guys are going to play, like I think the fan base would accept that. I think they would be okay with that. I really do.
I mean, we're all in different spots. We have different.
I know they love Brock, but I feel like we'd be okay with that. I really do.
We are all surprised when they traded away Bo Horvat, right?
Sure.
I mean, that was a big deal. We were surprised when they traded away Corey Schneider, when they traded away like Luongo. There's all these moves that inevitably happen. The only people they'd never traded away were the Sedins. And we were calling that for 3 years? Like, just go play with Pittsburgh, go with Crosby, win a cup. No. Those are the only 2 guys. Everybody else has moved on. That's how the sport works. Eventually people get old and they have to move on. That's it. So let's move on, or let these guys flourish somewhere else. We get draft picks that they're likely going to flip and go and get somebody that can come into the lineup, or a prospect that'll be in the lineup within the next year or so. Excuse me. And let's just go. Like, this team is pretty fun right now. It's still fun. It's just not healthy. There's a difference.
You're right. I mean, players move on. Like, that's just that's the way it works, man. One day you might see Lewis Hamilton driving for a completely different team. Like, you could never think like that. All the guy's done is won in one spot, right? And then boom, Ferrari's on another team.
Yeah, that's mind blowing. It's mind blowing stuff. So,
and that happens, and that will happen to this squad and in this core, right? I mean, we've had all these conversations over the years about Brock being part of the core. Is he? Isn't he? He was the core, and then at some point he sort of like was surpassed by Pedersen and Hughes, but he's still a good player. But he was still a guy that this team identifies as like a core player. Or the fan base does, and if he leaves, it'll be a thing for sure. But I would be okay with it.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's leave Brock Besser. I want to get into something.
Love the guy.
Oh yeah,
love the guy
for sure.
Everybody knows that's my favorite player. I do not want to see him go, but as a Canucks fan, as a fan of the Canucks first, do what's best for the team. Just make sure that's what's best for the team. Don't just do it to trade him.
Yeah, and
is he a Ring of Honor guy if he is traded?
He's done a lot. Question. He's done a lot for this team, I'd say.
It's like, I think the thing working against him is like the teams that he played on were so bad. The era that he played in was so bad. Like,
he was always
look at it like that.
He was always in it though, even though the team sucked.
Mm-hmm.
He was still making it happen, I think.
He was a face guy for sure. He was when you think about the Canucks, he's a guy that you identify as, like, when I think of the Canucks, I think of that guy. He was one of those guys, right?
There you go.
But so, Ray, I mean, what is he? 421 points.
He's closing in on Bure numbers.
Yeah, almost 200 goals as a Canuck, 533 games. Yeah, I don't
Just
know.
saying.
He might
Just
be a
saying.
ring guy. I can see
think so.
that.
I think so. You want to hear something awesome? So, Grant, you watched the game last night, yeah? Anna?
Yes. Well, I was kind of phone surfing and watching at the same time.
Okay, whatever. That
Yeah.
works. So, first of all, you saw the Gibson save in the first period.
Oh, ridiculous.
Just unbelievable. Ted, did you see this save?
No, I did not.
Okay, you should like Twitter it or something.
I'm looking for it right now.
Like, just unbelievable. I'm cheering. We're at the rink, and I'm like, this is the play of the game. And it's for the other team. It was so good. And then later in the game, DOC, Drew O'Connor, goes in and accidentally on purpose, I don't know. I think he tried stopping. Anyway, hits Gibson, knocks him out of the game. He's now out indefinitely, it sounds like. And you know who was trying to get him before the deadline? The Edmonton Oilers. You know how great this is like 4D chess right now. The fact that they knock out a goalie that the Oilers were trying to go after, or rumored to be going after, and now they have to be stuck with Stuart Skinner or something close going into the deadline, and that was going to be one of their lottery tickets. That
That's ridiculous.
It's so ridiculous. I've watched it like 10 times. So good. So now the Oilers go into the deadline with a totally different game plan because the Canucks just screwed them out of trading for that goalie. Discuss.
Anytime anything even potentially related to the Oilers gets messed up is a great day. I like Skinner. We just know he ain't it. Like, he can try, he'll get them a little ways, but he will not drag them to the cup. So they have to, but they've been having goalie issues for how many years now, right? Like,
when did we work at Jersey City, Ted?
12 years ago.
I left Kelowna in 06, so at least that long.
yeah. Like,
Okay.
Brian Smith, wasn't it? Who else have they had there? They had was Pickard there?
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? Like, just goaltenders that have played there?
Oilers goalies. Who's been like their main guys?
I know that. Well, you know what's funny is, like, for sure they had Laurent Bourgeois, which is that would have been a pretty decent guy for a while. I don't know.
Like, I don't know if it's bad luck for them or they're just like their goalie department is not like who's their goalie scout? Like, I don't know. They can't get one, and it's great as a Canucks fan, but I mean that must be so frustrating for them.
Toronto's in the same boat too. They've got who's their new guy, the Russian kid?
Okay, so you guys want some names?
Stolars?
Yeah, I want some names. Fire away.
Okay, so Calvin Pickard, that was called. So Stuart Skinner, Jack Campbell,
right?
About that one. Mikko Koskinen, Mike Smith, Anthony Stolars, right? Signed a big contract this past season.
Also played for. This is it's serendipitous. I love it.
Another guy who's had some high end years the last little bit, Cam Talbot.
Keep going.
High end backup in Laurent Bourgeois, and then you're looking at, now we're really getting into it, right? Where Al Montoya.
Ooh, the Portuguese man of war.
Yeah, Jonas Gustafsson, Anders Nilsson, Richard Bachman, Tyler Bunn, Victor Spaths, Ben Scrivens, there's Galov, all the way to I'll say like all the way back to Dubnyk. But they've had some wacky goaltenders play for them. Martin Gerber, Nikolai Habibulin, Yan Denis. Wow, they've had some name guys in there for sure.
Sign off on that. Fax it off to the Edmonton Oilers. Be like, this is what you've been doing. You just wasted away Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl and Taylor Hall and Neil Yakupov. I'm just kidding.
62 goalies have played for the Edmonton Oilers.
Like all time?
All time.
Yeah, and I bet 30 of those have been in the last 15 years.
If you were to take that list of names that Ted just read and take it to the super casual hockey fan, I bet like a fan who watches 20 games a year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
They
think they'd
they
know
know
more
too,
than
though.
2 names.
Mhm.
Like, no way.
Yeah. I mean, future considerations, everybody knows.
68
Oh.
goaltenders
For the Canucks?
for the Canucks. Yeah.
Well, they are a goalie graveyard. So, I mean, the Canucks have hit a few times, and then they had a lot of misses. Like, in between their hits are a ton of misses. So
You
they
should see if you can go down this list if you can even name all these Canucks goaltenders for the past couple of years.
So, oh man,
Hedberg.
Oh
Essen's
yeah.
up.
Can you go
Morgan.
like sort of most recent and work your way backwards?
Okay,
Yeah.
Lankinen,
Sure, yeah.
Shilovs, Demko,
Yeah. Mhm.
Markstrom is
No, we're
fairly
missing one.
recent, at least.
We're missing one.
Last year's
was
backup.
Ryan Miller before Markstrom or
Yes,
after?
there's backup.
You remember last year's backup?
Oh, DeSmith.
Yeah. And then a backup to the backup.
Oh,
It would have been a real tough season for Thatcher Demko. Couple of guys came in, career backup goalies.
DPS.
AHLers. No.
Did Pietro
Colin-
play a game?
Colin Delia.
Delia, right?
Delia.
And then Spencer Martin. We're not that far removed from Spencer Martin.
Man, remember how hard we were for Spencer Martin?
It's pretty funny.
We were excited for Spencer Martin.
Yeah.
Really excited.
So before Spencer Martin was Mikey DiPietro.
Millsy.
But how about this? Veteran goaltender?
McKenna.
Real veteran goaltender. Backup. Czech. I think he's Czech. Montreal Canadian.
Man.
Halak? No, just kidding.
Jan Lavik.
Oh,
sorry,
yeah.
Yaroslav.
Lavik.
Sorry, Yaroslav Halak. My bad.
Halak didn't play
Oh,
here.
Yeah, Halak.
Yeah, he totally did.
100%
Yeah.
he did.
Did
Yeah.
He played
Yeah.
17 games. Yeah. Also, often forget that this guy played here. Former newly minted starter.
Dude, I forgot Halak played here. So
Yeah,
I'm
newly
out.
minted starter.
Oh,
Former Washington Capital.
Holtby.
Holtby.
Yeah.
And then I won't do this to you guys, but Louis Domingue.
he was fun.
Yeah.
Sort of last really secure
Curtis
starter
Sampson.
before he was dealt. Big Swede.
Well, he said Markstrom.
Nielsen?
Oh, did he? Markstrom, yes.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Project Table Box, Nielsen. That's
Yeah,
right.
Career backup Richard Bachman got back into games. Anders Nilsson. I don't know if you
Yeah,
remember
Table
that one.
Box.
And then prior to Anders Nilsson and Jacob Markstrom, Grant, it was Ryan Miller and
Yeah,
Eddie
okay.
Lack.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Eriksson all the way back to Luongo and Schneider. That's as far as we'll go.
Joachim Eriksson. Wow.
That's the last.
We had some dark days too. Wow.
Yeah. Prior to that, the last 20 goaltenders prior to that were Andrew Raycroft and Jason LaBarbera.
LaBarbera looked like he was going to murder people. Like his eyes were wild.
Yeah, I mean he had some cool
So
stuff. I like it when
we
he's the guy who painted his own masks. What's that?
We
Oh, yeah.
had LaBarbera, I
Or no,
think,
he did
around the same
Metallica.
time the Rockets. Remember when the Rockets had Shane Bandera?
Oh yeah, he was great.
I think we had LaBarbera close to around the same time. That kid was a psycho on the ice.
Yeah,
Like he was like Dan
he was
Kuche
crazy.
with like a vengeance.
he had like wild eyes. He looked like
Dude was ready to fight.
he looked like Tito Ortiz.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, like they had that wild look in his face
Yeah,
like all the time.
yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Every time you're like, if things get out of hand here, he for sure is gonna fight. Which was, I mean, if you ever just assumed a goalie fight was gonna happen, it's when he was in the pipes. And he was a wicked goalie too. It's just the guy was a little screw loose. But anyway, so I just wanted to say about the whole John Gibson thing. That's awesome that the Oilers are gonna miss out once again for,
Why didn't the
going-
Oilers just go get John Gibson?
well, they were gonna go get him, and now he's hurt.
Why
So-
did? Yeah, But why didn't they just do it earlier? Like, why? That could have been something that's been available to them for the last like couple of years.
Probably.
Why not? Why all that time were you fucking around when you could have just went and got John Gibson? And you could have, 100%. You could have.
Just like the Canucks could have got Tyler Toffoli, which I'm still making a thing that I think we haven't talked about that enough this season, about how even though he has a no movement clause and everything, why doesn't he come home? Bring him home. Forget about Macklin, Celebrini. Who cares? Bring him home.
Did you see his sleepover the other night?
Yes, that's good.
That's a pretty good.
I've done that. I've done. I remember we won a trip to LA for see the Canucks through our Jersey City days, and there was three guys in our room, and so we cycled. There's only 2 nights, or 2 nights, 3 guys, 2 beds, and we're like, all right, well, one guy moved around a lot, so it was just going to come down to 2 people got to have a bed. So anyway, on the second night, we had come back from Disneyland. We did like an all-day Disneyland trip. Came back. We were staying in downtown LA, and we got back at like 1 a.m. I'm like, screw it. So I grabbed everybody's pillows, because you know how hotels have all the extra pillows. Anyway, so I made this huge bed of all like these massive pillows, and everyone was just so exhausted. I woke up, I swear to you guys, one of the best sleeps of my life as a bed of pillows, and the other 2 guys are just absolutely exhausted. Like, oh man, I'm so sorry. I'm like, guys, let's go for breakfast. I am feeling it today. So I know all about the whole Tyler Toffoli sleepover with Celebrini, and like, that's so great. When I saw that, I just giggled. I'm like, I've been there. I know about this. Yeah. So there's something to be said for that. So let's get Tyler Toffoli back. That's all I'm trying to say. He looks like he's a lot of fun. What else we got? Oh, I did see this. So it is trade deadline, and I don't know if you guys have seen any trades since we've been on the air. We all thought Crosby was going to go to Colorado, right? That's been like the talk for like 5 years. What? Someone posted like just that's what should happen, right? That he should go to Colorado, win with McKinnon.
Why not just have McKinnon go to Pittsburgh?
That also would work, but Pittsburgh's like rebuilding, aren't they?
Yeah.
So
that would have been more fun.
Why not send? Now, how crazy would this be? Why not send? And this isn't my idea. I'm just repeating it. Send Crosby to Washington to play with Ovechkin.
That's the second time that would be super cool.
It would be,
except for the fact that one of them would have to leave their teams. But like doesn't Washington play Pittsburgh last game of the season?
Oh, probably.
Like, wouldn't that be awesome for Ovi to get his game? His goal scoring record in Pittsburgh, like with Crosby and like I was talking to Matt about this, like, or maybe it was Cole. I can't remember. Like, the fans would do it right. Like they touch him up with the class. They do a thing there in Pittsburgh and send him off, like, give him like his proper due. And then, Crosby would be there. He'd be the ultimate pro. Like, they've been rivals, but not rivals this whole time. You know what I mean? I think that would be so rad if he did it in Pittsburgh. I think that would be the coolest thing ever.
Rantanen going to the Dallas Stars.
Oh, wow.
Is that actually happening right now?
It hasn't happened, but by the time our show's done, it likely will be. I'm just waiting for the Elliott tweet.
And we don't know for what.
No. NHL Rumor Bot has like Wyatt Johnson and someone else, but that's NHL Rumor Bot, so I can't really take that one seriously. So, yeah, Crosby with Ovechkin, I think. Like, how fun would that be for a playoff run? Imagine getting to cheer both of those guys on a cup run.
And you just know they would win it. Like, it would be like a destiny thing. Like, it just has to happen.
Like you unlock the golden chocobo. And hopefully enough people got that reference. And, then they go on that run. Golden Chocobo. I saw a funny one of Big Bird. Some guy writing Big Bird and like, what the heck is this? Anyway, it's the internet. You got to love it. So, yeah, that would be a lot of fun. And, so Ted, I've been thinking about this. And Grant, I'm very happy you're wearing that hat right now. So we're at the point of the season where the Canucks need a distraction. I brought this up last season. I think it's time that they announce the skate jersey and make it their full time What do you get? 2 weeks of distraction time because of that. You buy yourself 2 weeks of whatever you need to get all your media stuff figured out, all of your, if guys are playing bad, or like just to let PD like relax. If you give us the skate jersey, we're not going to talk about anything else because we won't be able to think about anything else but finally getting this full time. Grant, first of all, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts is it's never going to happen that way. There's no chance. They're never going to do it now. Like playoff push.
We're going to kick you out pretty soon.
Yeah, and that's fair. I deserve it. But
he's 100% right.
Yeah, like they're gonna save that for the dog days of summer, mid-August, right? Like just about to ramp up for training camp. They'll announce they'll have the white skate jersey, they'll have the black skate jersey. The NHL will announce that actually teams are wearing white at home when they want to. Like it'll be this whole thing. But I've actually never been a massive proponent of the skate logo. Like I like it, but it's not my ultimate, but I'm totally okay going with it for a couple of years. I think it'd be great.
Well, I don't think they can do a couple of years.
I think they could do a couple of years. I think that's what's great. That's what's great about the NHL now, right? I mean, we're just finally starting to get to that point where it's like we're just going to do the retro thing for a couple of years.
Midlife crisis, this thing.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be permanent. It's not like the next logo you see. It's like, oh, damn, that's the one there. Now we're going to have to tradition, blah, blah, blah. And you got to do what? You got to ride this thing out for like 15 years before we see another change. Like we've got a catalog,
that's true.
We have all this stuff already. Like
some deep cuts.
Let's just use it. You know what I mean? Like,
let's play
why
some
not? And I think
they
should 100% do that way more often. Franchises be empowered to do that all the time.
B-sides and rarities, like guys, we're bringing back the V.
If they go with the skate though, like I need to see the red with the black like stripes. That's such a classic. Like that's the one I want to see.
Imagine it like a new give it the new sort of makeup this year, right?
The gradient.
That doesn't even have to be gradient, but like the current skate jersey like got a nice little touch up. But just modernized it like just ever so slightly, nothing crazy, no wild changes, like just
a yellow
like
version?
That with the skate. It'd be great.
Do you think they can make a yellow one work?
Maybe, yeah. I'm sure there's a way they could do it. I don't.
It would be fun.
I'm sure they'd like
matte black helmet.
Do the black like with the checker plating and stuff like that, and make it look different. I don't know if you're gonna do it, just do it for a little bit. I don't care. It's fun.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
Just don't bring back the West Coast Express era ones. I hated those ones.
Yeah, and I mean, I get that some people. I mean, I guess
but
for
it's retro.
I guess because we're nostalgic for the skate jersey is the same reason some people are nostalgic for, the West Coast thirds, right?
Mm-hmm.
The short front and the long back. I hated selling those because I remember the first time you saw one, you're like, "Oh, I think they got this wrong." You're like, "No, that's what they look like." Short front, long back. All right. Like the Gretzky style jersey, I guess, where it's tucked but in the front instead. So that's kind of where I was at on the the distraction thing. I got one more thing, and we can ride this one out. So everybody remembers, Grant, you remember from last week, Ted and I had a curling match via NHL players, which is super cool because if everybody saw, San Jose went curling right before I think the Briar started. No, just a coincidence, but they did some, and they're like, "Oh, this is so hard." So we ended the show last week laughing our little heads off because we added Don Cheadle to our curling match. So I'm gonna update everybody. So we and Louis DeBrusque instead of Jake DeBrusque. So currently Ted's team is Quinn Hughes, Elias Pettersson, Louis DeBrusque, and Kiefer Sherwood. I've got Brock Besser, Connor Garland, Philip Hronik, and Don Cheadle. So it's so funny. We need to make another change for this because I need to find a way to win somehow. So I think, Ted, you should change your team. And I think instead of Kiefer Sherwood, you should get Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I like it.
And you got to pick one for me.
I Can I have a young? Can I have a young Kiefer Sutherland?
Sure, I'll give you whatever. So, like, Unforgiven, wasn't he an Unforgiven?
I don't know, just a young Kiefer Sutherland.
Exchange Kiefer Sherwood for young Kiefer Sutherland.
No, you know what? I don't want a young. Just give me the regular.
Okay, for
Kiefer Sherwood.
No. Kiefer
Sutherland.
Does the result change?
Yes.
Now we're playing 3D chess with these rosters. Swapping out Kiefer Sherwood for Kiefer Sutherland brings in yet another wild card. Let's reevaluate. This is going to... I swear if this works in your favor, I'm pissed. So now you have Louis DeBrusque and Kiefer Sutherland. It says, so now he's the lead actor, Canadian, so he's at least seen curling before. That sucks. So does this change the outcome? Kiefer Sutherland versus Kiefer Sherwood is a Canadian, which gives him an automatic curling IQ boost. However, his curling skills are unknown, and at 57, he may not have the endurance for aggressive sweeping. Yes. But if his intensity from 24 translates, he might be insanely clutch when it counts. Don Cheadle versus Philip Heedle, already addressed. Still a mystery, but if Cheadle finds his groove, Team B could be a serious threat. Final verdict. If Kiefer Sutherland pulls a Jack Bauer and locks in under pressure, Team A still has the edge. However, he's an unknown in sweeping and early shot placement, so this lowers their margin for error. If Don Cheadle steps up, Team B could take advantage. Final call. Team A still wins. But Team B is now dangerously close to stealing it. At this point, do we just start swapping in random celebrity Canadians? Ryan Reynolds at third, Jim Carrey as Skip, and then it has the laughing face emoji. So it's like making fun of me at this point.
Hey, can I submit my team? I want to see how I do against you guys.
Okay, so we're gonna sub in. We're gonna take out my team. So Grant, we're gonna switch. What if we sub in the following team for Team B? Okay, who's your lead?
Okay, my lead is going to be Marcus Pettersson. Stout defensively, good, like just reliable, and I play lead, so like that's exactly what I am when I play.
Okay. So who's your second?
Second is Joshua. We need someone with a bit of energy.
Oh, this is gonna be a good team.
But like does the takeouts, the big hits, clears things up.
I hate you, Grant, because I know what's about to happen here. This is typical Grant when it comes to me.
He's going all sides.
He just like throws down and like, all right. Just every time he always seems to pull in clutch. Okay, who's your third?
Okay, third's gonna be Garland. Garland's going to get in there. He's going to like really bring the energy, the smart plays. He's going to do what you don't expect.
I have Connor Garland. You can't take him.
Oh, you have Garland? Shoot.
He's my third.
Let's do Höglander then.
Nils.
Okay, same kind of player.
When he's on his game. Same kind of style. Yeah.
Tenacious. Okay.
And then obviously the guy who's calling the shots, the guy who's it all comes down to.
Did either of you guys? I'm trying to remember. Did you have Tyler Myers?
That's a good call. No.
Yeah. So I want Myers. He's calm and collected. He knows how to just handle the pressure situations, and and he's super lanky. So he's got that reach So I was thinking though, because we could first do that team, and then I was thinking of my substitutions as well. Because
okay, so we're gonna run with the new Team B. So here we go. So now we're throwing in a new Team B with an entirely different energy. Let's break it down again. Team B, Skip, Tyler Myers, 6'8", long reach, unpredictable, either secret weapon or total chaos. Love this.
Chaos.
Third, Nils Höglander, high motor, creative, competitive, could be a solid setup man. Second is Dakota Joshua, big, physical, strong on his feet, probably a monster at sweeping. Man, just gonna say this quickly. ChatGPT's gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
And lead is Marcus Pettersson, steady, reliable, Swedish. So he's got that precision game in him. Man, it's like Chris Faber's writing this. How does this change things up? Tyler Myers at skip, the biggest X factor. His wingspan alone could let him release stones from a different postal code. Decision, that's awesome. Decision making, well, that's a different story. He's known for chaotic moments in hockey. If he locks in, he could be great. If not, he's sending rocks into the parking lot. I need a break. That's good. That's too good. That's really funny. Nils Hoglander at third. He's a scrappy, high energy guy, which could translate to good sweeping or tricky shot making. Not a lot of love there. Dakota Joshua at second, probably the strongest sweeper in this matchup. If he picks up technique fast, he could give Team B a big advantage. Marcus Pettersson at lead. Swedish players tend to have great skill and composure. He might actually be the most naturally suited curler on this new team.
What version of my team is this? Is this the version with Kiefer Sutherland and
I might have to make a change
and Louis DeBrusque?
Yeah, I might have to give you back. So, do you want your original version or do you want the current version?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Whatever you think. I'm just asking what version you're picking.
I'm going to give you this one because let's see. This new Team B is a lot more physical, which could mean better sweeping and overall endurance. However, Myers as a skip is the biggest wild card, and it's in bold letters. If he makes the right calls and keeps a shot in check, this team could actually win. Final call. This is now a true 50-50 matchup. If Myers dials in, Team B could absolutely take it. If not, Hughes and Pettersson finesse still give Team A the edge. This might be the most chaotic NHL curling simulation ever, and I love it. Do we need to add coaches next? Maybe Bruce Boudreau versus Rick Tocchet behind the bench. So Team A still has the lead despite having Louis DeBrusque and Kiefer Sutherland. So somehow,
how do we feel
so
about
who won?
substituting?
Team A still won.
Yes.
What about Tyler? Instead of Tyler Myers, let's go with Michael Myers.
Oh, wait, which one?
The serial killer.
Okay.
Well, Mike Myers is Canadian, so according to ChatGPT, that might be.
I could say Michael Myers. I think they'd know. What if we switch out Canadian or the serial killer?
Oh man, that's actually a great question. Let's go with the Canadian.
For Canadian Mike Myers. This is just peak entertainment, it says. Swapping out Tyler Myers for Canadian comedy legend Mike Myers completely changes the dynamic of Team B. Let's reassess. Mike Myers, comedian, Canadian, so he's at least aware of curling. We're going to scroll all the way back down to the lead, Marcus Pettersson, steady, reliable, possible Swedish curling magic. How does this change things? Mike Myers at skip. Canadian. If he channels Austin Powers' confidence, he could be a clutch shot caller. Cons, likely no actual curling experience. Could either take the game seriously or be a complete wild card throwing "yeah, baby" after every shot. This is so good.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. Wild card factor. If he somehow has a hidden curling talent, which is not possible, he is Canadian. He could elevate this team. Hoglander's still scrappy. Dakota Joshua forced and sweeping, stable, consistent piece this team's needs. Final verdict. This team now becomes way more unpredictable. If Mike Myers plays it like a joke, Team A wins easily. But if he locks in and pulls off a Wayne's World miracle on ice curling moment, that's a really good idea. Team B could make history. Final call. Team A is still the favorite, but if Mike Myers goes full serious underdog sports movie protagonist, Team B could pull off an upset for the ages. We might as well get Jim Carrey at lead, full-blown Canadian celebrity curling showdown. That's too much to take in. So somehow Ted picked the perfect Canucks curling team, only needing to switch out two players, Louis DeBrusque and Kiefer Sutherland. So regardless of who we add on Ted's team, somehow he wins. So Grant, neither of our teams matches up to Ted, which makes total sense somehow.
Yeah.
We gave it our best. We give it our
I feel
best.
like we need. I think we need a trophy for this. This has been so hyped up now.
I wonder if there's like a. I wonder if I can do. Can you make a picture of the trophy for Team A? Let's see. Does it give us one? Come on. Oh, it's making something. It's making something. Team A curling champions. It's pretty boring.
Oh.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's pretty boring.
It's pretty. I wonder, can I post it in here? Probably not. I'll put it in the private chat.
Oh well.
Yeah, it sucks. Sorry, guys. Actually, here, let's
ask it to represent the team. Maybe they'll.
Okay. Make the trophy representative of who is on the team for Team A. Okay, this will be better. It's I mean, Ted, if you're gonna beat all of these celebrities, this is a little bit better. Läufer de Brussen, okay, this is an absolute truck fire, but we're gonna put it as an overlay so you guys can see it. Downloads. Where is it? I don't know where the downloads go on this thing. I might have to search around for I could probably do that.
What are you doing this whole time?
We're like hyping this up so much, and it's just going to be like this picture of like a nothing trophy.
Can you see that?
Oh yeah.
It's all right.
Okay.
They got one.
Who's Louis Pedersen?
He's this chat GPT. And Läufer de Brussen and Cotherland. Have you been to the Cotherland? I think that's what we need.
Good.
I think we need Louis Pedersen on the Canucks now. That's only fair.
You just built a team of Pedersens.
Yeah.
Gotta catch them all.
Is there any other ones? I don't know.
Yeah.
That was fun. So congratulations, Ted. We're going to put the curling thing to bed on this one. I will try to come up with a new chat GPT thing for next week. I don't even know what it's going to have to be some. Grant, do you have an idea?
Not off the top of my head.
We'll figure it out.
It's going to give me time.
I feel like it's in good hands.
So before we go to bed here, let's just confirm, have the Canucks even done anything? Everybody's talking about LeBron James. I do not see that trade is official. Oh yeah, Oliver Shillington came and went from Colorado. He got traded and then traded for future consideration. So Rantanen, I don't think is official yet. So we're going to leave that one alone. Canucks haven't done anything. So tomorrow's trade deadline. I will be driving all day. So I'll be expecting at least one text randomly during the day until noon. And then there's a Canucks game tomorrow night. They have Dallas? No, Minnesota
Wild.
tomorrow night.
Yeah, wow.
So maybe Brock Besser will be wearing a New Jersey by then. Who knows? Grant, good to have you, man. I appreciate it. It's always good.
Thanks for having me on, boys. Sorry it took me so long to get on, but made it work.
That's okay. That's okay. Nobody's ever late on this show unless it's Ted. So, just kidding. On behalf, whatever. Folks, this is the PP1 Podcast on Area 51 Sports Network. Check us out on all of our socials. Check them out on all their socials. Enjoy this on your Friday as you're watching the trade deadline. You can have us on in the background. We'd appreciate that. And hey, check out my golf brand, Mulligan Golf. It's pretty sick. On behalf of Grant and the realest Ted, the bestest curling fake champion ever, I am Ryan. As I said, this is the PP1 Podcast. Peace out.